Hey everyone, Willow here. I am your Tuesday regular host, and this week on Starting Out Solitary we are on week 166, and the topic is As Above, So Below, what that means to me personally. As above, so below has different meanings in different religious beliefs and spiritual practices. Before I started my path, I knew that God, archangels, spirits and guides are all omnipresent, meaning that, for example, 100 people from all parts of the earth can call forth for help from an archangel, and that archangel can help all of us simultaneously at the same time. And when I first began my path, I stumbled across an amazing author, which I am sure you've heard of by now, by the name of Christopher Penczak. And at that time, I'd purchased 2 of his books. One of them is The Outer Temple of Witchcraft, and the other is The Inner Temple of Witchcraft. I first began to read The Inner Temple of Witchcraft, and it was here where my eyes were opened to the scientific explanation and meaning of As Above, So Below. He talks in his book about the Hermetic principles, and As Above, So Below falls under the principles of correspondences. He talks about the universe being a holographic system and that reality is fractal. Now, I'll put a link, I'll see if I can find it on YouTube. I'll put a link to a little short video that was created in the late 70s. I believe it was 77, and it's called Powers of 10. If you have a moment, please, I do recommend you watch it. It'll kind of explain all of this in a better way than I probably am. Not long after, I started classes with Crimson Fire, and of course, we talked about, as above, so below, as within, so without. And it was here where I truly began to appreciate and feel the meaning, the true meaning of as above, so below, as within, so without, for me personally. Now, I can read a plethora of information that is available through books, internet, talking to people, but it's not until I start working with it myself on a personal level and experience it, truly experience it, so that I can then gain a better understanding and a connection, a personal connection to everything. And to be more specific for the purposes of this video, for the term of as above, so below. So, as above, the planets, the skies, the stars, the galaxies. So below, humans, earth, everything on earth, shoes, books, the animal kingdom, the plant world. There are energies and forces that keep the planets in motion as above. So below, those same energies and forces keep the atoms. Everything is made up of atoms, so that same energy and force keep the atoms in motion below. That there is no degree of separation between anything and everything in the universe, that we are all connected, that we are all reflections, and that we all mirror energies. That atoms have electromagnetic fields of consciousness. Now that's different to the consciousness of the everyday living mundane consciousness, but rather the subconsciousness, which is more superior than the everyday mundane living consciousness. And that we can connect with everything energetically and subconsciously with everything that we are surrounded by, our environment, people, etc., etc. So for example, if I am using in my magics a rose, to harness the energies of the planet Venus, I am not looking above, but rather in the conscious or the subconscious aspect of that rose and connecting with that energy, the energy of the planet Venus directly rather than indirectly, if that makes sense. And being more subconsciously aware is where you can get the universal divine messages, because as I said, everything is a part of the universe and we are all connected in some way. So therefore that's kind of like the form of divination, that you are connecting with whatever it is that you've set your intentions to work with. I hope I haven't lost you here. As within, so looking within. Are there fears within of something that I'm wishing to manifest without? And rather than focusing on that fear, but really focusing on how, as if I have that thing that I am manifesting in my life in the here and the now, and changing the reality without, so that I'm connecting without, so within. Another example that I can mention here is, you know, without, we are here in autumn, and it's that time that we're approaching winter, and it's the letting go, it's that shadow aspect. So internally, the shadow, what is it that I'm needing to let go? Connecting within and without. There was a really good post on Facebook that someone posted a while back and said, it's not shit happens, because that's what you will be attracting to you if you're constantly saying to yourself, shit happens. It's shift happens. And when you're bringing yourself to that subconscious level of shift happens rather than shit happens. Yes, so that is how I use as above, so below, as within, so without. And quite honestly, it is something that I make myself aware of and I focus on a daily basis. The level of intent behind may differ depending on whatever it is that I'm doing throughout the day, as I say, you know, creating magic in that mundane, but it's bringing my awareness to all of that. Then I can, you know, focus on what shift I want to attract, or what shift or changes that I want to occur within, around me. There was one more thing too that I wanted to say, which I can't remember right now. As I say, that always happens to me. Nonetheless, thank you for watching, and see you in my next video. Sending you so much love.